Anyways, though, let me go ahead and get ready to start to dive on in these topics. So, as y'all can see, the first one, we have Myron Gaines. Those of y'all that's not familiar who Myron Gaines is, he's a former federal agent, but he really started taking the internet by storm when he and his co-founder, um, I don't know his actually I don't know first his real name. But anyway, we know him as Fresh, and they started their podcast, better known as Fresh and Fit. And Myron Gaines is known for his red pill style of thinking. You know, basically their philosophy that guys should basically they have this strong take on that guys shouldn't be simping out for women. That women needs to earn their way into certain spaces that we just naturally give them that they're not worthy of. And he's also known for a bestseller book known as Why Women Deserve Less. I got that correct. So he's been hitting the headlines a lot lately because he had a breakup with his girlfriend. And there's been a lot of talk that a lot of people saying he ain't who he say he is. So we're going to dive into that. Then we also have Amanda Sellis, better known for her TV personality, and she's on a few shows. I would say more popular for me that I really got to know her. Insecure. I actually met her in person. To me, she was a dope woman. She was cool and stuff like that. When I met her, she has this little sit down where basically she's meeting a bunch of black conservatives about their ideology and takes on being a conservative. And most of them are, I think, have more of a Republican state of mind, and she's debated now. So interesting. Then we have the legendary ultimate simple simps, Yada Awakening, with his crazy takes. Ladies, y'all might not like some of the stuff I have to say about him, but I gotta say it. The dude is a super simp. I'm gonna say what y'all say. No in the hell a man's gonna be acting and listen to the bullshit. Ladies, he's gonna set y'all up for failure, but we're gonna dig deeper into that later. Then, of course, last but not least, we're gonna touch on the U.A.N trial. Legendary, iconic rapper, better, birth name was Adolph Thornton Jr., who was fatally killed in 2021. As we know, he has an ongoing trial that has been going on in my great city where I was born and raised in, of Memphis, Tennessee. So we're gonna dive into a little bit of that, of what was going on, and some of the things that was said during that trial. So those are our topics for today. So first and foremost, like I said, let's go ahead into the first one, which is Lord Myron Gaines. Like I said, he's best known for his their explosive podcast, the First and Fit podcast. For me, like I said, I'm not a red pill guy, but I must say I do resonate with a lot of his takes. A lot of the things he says is absolutely the truth, regardless of how a lot of people may feel about it. I mean, of course, I would say more so is the way he delivers. They don't like how aggressive he be with some of the things. Kind of similar to the Kevin Samuels type of things. But ladies, after hearing some of this news that's going down, this might be something that you guys might love to hear, because it could be a potential knockdown for your boy Myron Gaines, because apparently him and his girlfriend, Angie, they had a breakup. And he said the breakup isn't what a lot of people's out there putting, but I'm just gonna share the video on what you're gonna kind of get his point of view on it, of what he said went down. And then also the guy who's shout out to O'Shea Duke. He's the one's video I'm going to be taking a look at, and I'll go ahead and give my takes and reactions to this. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, stuff not looking too good for you.
Again, this was the same guy telling everybody on podcasts how much money he had, how successful he was, how many properties he has. And then at the same time, he's able to do X, Y, and Z with different women. He can go out, he can basically get any kind of woman that he wants. She has to stay faithful while he gets to do whatever he wants. She packs his condoms on the way out, basically making it look like he had all the power and she did in the relationship. And this is something that I find out a lot of guys do when they have money. Like, hey, I'm able to do this in the relationship, and because it's me, you're unable to do this in the relationship. This is typically what always happens. All right, I want to go back and talk about how Myron tried to cover this up the other day on Fresh and Fit podcast.
When it comes to this situation right now, with us not being together, it's not her, bro. It's on me. Like, and I got to take responsibility. She's been patient waiting for a family, bro. And she's like 27. So who the f*** I to tell her, nah, keep waiting as I build this empire?
He's saying the ex-girlfriend Angelica wanted to start a family, all right? And she was 27. So basically he was real with her, doesn't want to start a family, all of that. That's what he's saying. But you said that this is the best girlfriend you've ever had, right? Like, this is the lady that you've never seen anybody like her. She's definitely different. You're willing to take care of her. You're put this lady, basically he's saying, listen, she got the, she's going out paying my bills. She's looking at my flights, ordering my flights. She's managing my properties. So she's doing the stuff that a wife is doing anyway. So then why don't you want to get a family with her? I mean, you got her raising your dogs. I mean, if everything was a power dynamic, it'll be the same. She would still be there. She would still allow you to basically deal with other girls. So what is the problem? Okay. What is the problem? What will be the issue? But wait, there's more.
All right, whatever, bro.
So the whole premise was, oh, bro, Myron go left him for another guy.
Yeah.
Well, if you're broken up months before, I mean, she's single.
Yeah.
So quite frankly,
I didn't even ask her about it, like, because I don't care, because it's not my business, bro. So when people say this stuff, it's just like, I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, on this part, he like, look, she's single. It's not my business. I don't really care, and all of that, right? So let me deal with this, because this is important. Number one, the older that I've gotten, a lot of folks think that basically I have a girlfriend. A lot of folks think because I got money, I'm known. And content creators like Myron, they believe like they're really the truth because they got a big fan base and they make drama content all day, disrespecting everybody. So you think that a woman is infatuated with that. And indeed, at first, a woman could be infatuated with that. At first, until she gets to know your ass for who you are. That's the difference.
Okay, I don't want to go too much with this, to be honest with you. But I was trying to give y'all a little bit of an idea of what's going on with it. And this nigga kind of doing too much talking. But basically, the girlfriend broke up. I'm going to go ahead and fill in a lot of the story for y'all. What's good, Dale? I ain't seen you in a little minute. What's up, Hezzy? So basically, the man's girlfriend broke up with him. And they seen her on the, out in the streets with some guy that looks like a regular guy. Like, it doesn't even look like he's what they would call quote unquote high value man. And she was out there skating, holding hands with him and stuff like that. And according to Myron, they've been broke up during that time. So he was like, it doesn't really matter what she do. She has to keep moving on. According to Myron, that you just heard, they broke up because, he basically had way too much on his table and all the stuff that she was doing for him. She wanted a family and he couldn't give that to her. So basically, according to Myron, it was more so of a mutual breakup. But like he always says, There's no such thing as mutual. Somebody initiated the breakup. So I guess in this case, she initiated the breakup. He was like he couldn't hold her longer because, you know, who is he to tell her she can't go nowhere? And, you know, she's already 27, and, you know, women has a time clock because, you know, women only can maximize their, you know, value according to what he says. You know, they only can maximize their value for a certain amount of time. So if she truly wants to attach herself to the best man, have children, and be married, she has to go ahead and do it now because she's 27. So, you know, if she wait another 5 years until she hit her 30s, and then let's just say something was to happen that Myron still doesn't marry her. Now she done wasted all those years, and now she can't get those valuable years back. And she has to go and look for another man. But here's the thing. They said that she was caught with that guy that I was talking about, which is a regular guy that was skating with her. They holding hands, looking all booed up and stuff like that. And I think they said that was back in May. But we also seen in May a video of Myron talking about her, saying, you know, he can't, you know, he basically they implying that he missed her or something like that. So it seems as if he's not telling the 100% truth, and he don't want to admit to his audience that he's a little bit hurt by it. Like she caught him a little by surprise. He thought he like O'Shea was just saying, he thought he held all the power, but she was like, bruh, this ain't it. And she went with another guy behind his back. And now he's trying to deal with it, but you know, he can't admit to his audience, dang, I got played, you know, she broke up with me and I didn't see it coming. Because that just wouldn't look good for his image with the type of guy he is, you know, the messages that he's been teaching and preaching to his fan base. So he has to spin the narrative to keep that story from, you know, coming out. Like me personally, I don't know what the full truth is, but I'm just reporting what it is. But here's my opinion on the matter. Basically, I think there's a such thing as being a little too cocky and too hard on women. Like, I think you can't be too soft on them because they will run you over. Especially the modern day women today, they will run your ass over if they see that is the truth. So he's 100% correct when it comes to that. But according to him, you know, he goes out, he sees other women and stuff like that, which I don't think, if the woman is okay with that, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? But I think the part that where he was losing at is this dude said he don't spend that much time with her. He's repeatedly said that, you know, outside of their sexual market, women are useless. Basically, you know, that he doesn't even live among the same house as her. Basically, he housed her in a certain place and he lives somewhere else because he don't want to be basically filled in with feminine energy that could affect what he's doing. So like that's kind of crazy. Like I don't think I could see myself, you know, if it's a woman that I'm like, this is my girl that I'm damn near, you know, thinking of marriage with, but I want to live in a different place from her just because that's my preference. Like that shit is kind of crazy. So I definitely don't agree with him on that. And then another thing, he be real hard on our sisters. Like the nigga be real hard. He's repeatedly talked about how the black woman is the least desired and things like that. And to a degree, I could get what he's coming from because I'm just going to keep it above. Our sisters do be having these attitudes and a sense of entitlement and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, black women is the top tier. I mean, we got to hold them accountable and stuff like that, but it's just a way that you can do it. Like, to me, I think Kevin's way of doing it was much stronger than Myron's way. And this is no knock against Myron, because I think dude's a very intelligent individual. But, yeah, He's going out bad, and it's not looking very good for him right now. Like, he could be very much telling the truth. I don't know, because one thing about these YouTube streets for sure, when people smell blood, they gonna, whether it's the truth or not, they're gonna spend their own narratives to try to get their channel on the map. So they could be just clout chasing and just making up stuff to try to make them look bad. But that's just my 2 cents on it. What's crazy is the more women flirt with you, the more your girl stays. That is true. And that's something that Myron says. Women, this is the truth. Women don't want, it's like they don't want you to cheat on them, but at the same time, they like to know that their man is capable of pulling another woman at any given time. So if they're in between like that, they're more likely to stay because they want to be attached to somebody that they know other people desires, like other women desires, but they can't have. You know what I'm saying? What you think about Paul Pierce and Azar podcast? So I haven't seen too much of that, bro, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm not too familiar with it. I've seen some of his takes and stuff like that. I know something about, he said something about a woman after 30 is good. I think I remember seeing him say something like that, but I can't say I'm too familiar with what they be doing over there, so I can't really speak. Fresh and fit equals trash and shit. Well, I'm not gonna trash the podcast. I must say, like I said, I do think they do good things over there. I'm not gonna just throw the whole thing away. But another thing that I'll say before moving on to the next topic is, one thing for sure is, I do think a lot of the red pill space, particularly in the fresh and fit space, a lot of them did not get girls growing up. Because you can tell, like, how certain ones try to be over aggressive for no reason. Like, they just look for a reason to try to attack the women when they be on the podcast some of the time. Like, this is how I see it. I'm gonna only talk about the top 3 of the podcast. You got Myron, you got Fresh, then you got Chris, right? Myron may have gotten, just from what me seeing what's going on and stuff like that when I do watch the podcast some of the times. Myron looked like he may have gotten some girls here and there. He got some height, he's some shape and stuff like that. And he's pretty knowledgeable. He may have gotten something like that, but I don't think he was like rolling. And he was a former athlete. So Myron probably actually did, get some attention and stuff. But this nigga Fresh and Chris, more so Chris, you can tell by some of the stuff he be doing, just attacking them out of nowhere. He was a lame. I think he was a fat, lame ass dude that so happened to be getting girls now because he's on a very viral and popular podcast. So now he thinks he can attack women and just say all this stuff that he be saying because kind of like on some Mike Jones shit. Back then they didn't want me, now they all want me type of stuff. So that's my opinion, and I think a lot of people in that red pill space, that is true. It's a bunch of niggas that now got money that's trashing women to make money. Now some of them I actually believe, and then the craziest part is a lot of them don't be following what they preach. Because, like, for instance, they be another one that's popular in the red pill space. What's his name? I don't know his name, but I know his podcast name is No Fugazi or something like that. One of the things that's popular in the red pill space, they be saying no single mother, right? Yet this dude is dating a single mother. They trying to make excuses for why it's okay for him to do it, but you don't specify. Now, and then he's moving the goalpost saying, oh, it's certain exceptions and stuff like that. My opinion, real quick on the single mother thing, and then we'll move on to the next topic. I do think a lot of single mothers sometimes are very entitled. Like the real truth is, you're not going to have the same value as a single mother. That's just the truth. I mean, as a mother without, I mean, a woman without a child. A man can pick. Let's say y'all got the same personality. Y'all both are sweet, nice girls. You both, you know, got your head on straight. You're down with following your man and stuff like that. You're respectful, all of that. More than likely, 9 times out of 10, the man's gonna go with the woman without a child. So that means you got to work harder a little bit to be able to support. Let's say if you want what they call quote unquote high value man, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder than the ones without a child. Why? Because he has to work a little harder. It's fake. I mean, it's fair. Because if he has to feed an extra mouth, then I mean, you should go a little extra mile to make sure you know he feels secure. And but let's be real, most mothers are gonna choose their child first over the man. That's just the truth. I don't really want to talk too many off-topic topics like that right now, Tails. But to answer your question, I do mess with Martin Garden movies. Absolutely, I would collab with them, but more than likely, those big channels. I'm looking to do that. I haven't even been in collab with them. Yeah, fair is fair, exactly. Hence the double standards of men/women. Well, with the multiple partner situation, I got to keep it above, but I think it should be. I do think it should be, covered with among whoever the couple is. But under no circumstance should women have multiple partners. I'm sorry. Why? Because biology tells you in so many different ways. If you have sex with multiple partners, especially unprotected, you're gonna be with child and not know who the father is. Yeah, we have DNA testing and stuff like that now, but let's be real. You weren't made to. Men have millions upon millions of seeds that we produce. So by biology, it tells you that men supposed to go out there and be fruitful. It even says that somewhat in the Bible. But I don't think that gives you the authority to tell your woman, no, you're not doing this, I'm gonna do that. I think, you should just find you a woman that's okay with whatever it is you got. I just think multiple partners equals, well, of course you got to be safe. Like I say, everybody's not meant to be with just one person. It just don't work for everybody. But I think if you know that you're that type and you want to have it, you should be honest with whoever it is you're with. The rules to it is, I agree with what Kevin used to always say. Rules to that is no, don't bring home no diseases and no outside children. So basically, no having no children out of wedlock, bringing on another child. You got to be safe and responsible. If you were single, would you go on the pop the loan? I don't know, bro. It's not really something I thought about. You know what? It probably would be funny as hell. I may would roast them. If anybody tried to come and be crazy, roast their ass or something like that. Yeah, that'd be funny. Anyways,